Blog Talk Radio.
HorrorMovieFans.com radio. Hey, yo, and we got a big show today.
We do have a big show today with a big guest.
Yeah, the B-movie queen herself, Debbie Rochon.
Right on. I'm
Man.
pretty excited.
I'm really excited, man.
We've been wanting to get her for a long time.
Yeah. And, I mean, look at her filmography. She was named the Screen Queen of the 90s. I should have wrote down the source. But there was a big magazine called her that. And if you look at her filmography, I mean, she's probably going to be the Screen Queen of the 2000s.
No kidding. She's been in, like, what, 6 million movies? I think it's the actual total. If I look
That might be a conservative guesstimate.
I think it's about right.
My mom actually had to hear about Debbie Rochon all day today.
Oh yeah. Today's Mom's Day. That was pretty big. I just called my mom. There wasn't, she's in a whole other state. Be like, here's a CD you wanted. I don't know what to give my mom anymore.
What's your favorite Debbie Rochon movie?
What's my favorite Debbie Rochon movie?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's cool. It's a good question. She has a lot of good trauma ones. I'm trying to think.
I like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that was a good one, too.
I think that's probably my favorite film that she's done is Romeo and Juliet.
Right on.
I think she's on the line right now. Hello, Debbie?
That is I.
How are you doing?
That is I. How you guys doing? I hear it echoed. Is it?
Do you have the show on in the background?
Nope.
But
it's gone now, so that's good. Well, thank you. Romeo and Juliet was awesome. It's hard to believe it was so long ago, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been about 10 years now, 11 years.
Yeah. Shot it in
Sorry.
95. It came out in 96. It's, it's a long time ago.
Right after that film, you started having lots of films out.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the big? Would you say that's the big breakthrough role you've had?
Well, exactly. I think it was that. I think Abducted 2, The Reunion, was a good film because it played on TV a lot. So that was an important film for me as well. But I think Romeo and Juliet was definitely sort of like making a cult movie. What would become a cult movie was pretty an important step, I would say. I mean, I'd been working with Trauma for quite a while. I mean, probably 5 years prior to that, but they weren't making movies. They were just doing, stuff for TV, cable and stuff, and I would introduce movies and do they had like a half an hour infomercial when infomercials were all the rage in the 90s. I was working with Lloyd for a few years before he made that, and he said, I have this script, Romeo and Juliet, you got to check it out. And so I did, and then shortly thereafter, James Gunn got involved, and it all happened. He brought in some really great actors, I thought.
Yeah, it seems like with Romeo and Juliet, even people who aren't necessarily big Trauma fans or haven't seen a lot of their films seem to like that movie and know of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's appealing because it's certainly not a coming-of-age movie, but I think because of the time capsule, even the piercings, the tattoos, it's very like downtown New York, sort of East End vibe to it. I think because of the writing, and it was just really offbeat. It was different, and James had a big hand in bringing in, a lot of actors that he knew from I think Chicago and stuff like that. Like Valentine Neely, who played Murray, is just so amazing to me, such an amazing actor. I can't believe that he didn't go on to become a huge star. So I think the quality of the actors and the writing, that they sort of had a chance to develop characters, I think it had a lot to do with that.
Would you say that's one of your favorite films that you've worked on?
Sure, absolutely, I would. I mean, there's been a lot of movies that have meant a lot to me for completely different reasons. And that was a really exceptional experience. You know, Abducted to the Reunion was also, but for completely different reasons. The year before, '94, I made that movie in Vancouver, which was like the first time I'd been back to Canada in 10 years. Well, no, I'd been to Montreal, but I'd never been back to Vancouver. So that was really hardcore. I mean, it's not a good movie. It's not a great movie, but, you know, we shot on these mountaintops that, you know, we would drive like halfway up the mountain, and we'd have to hike for 2 hours to get to the top of the mountain to shoot the movie. So it was just really intense physically. And, you know, we spent 5 weeks on the mountaintops. So it was really, really intense. Romeo and Juliet was just as intense, but for very different reasons. I mean, you know, there you were. I was really working with a lot of exceptionally talented people. And, you know, when early on, when you have really great experiences making movies, you sort of assume that that's always the way it's going to be. And as we all know, as the years progressed and everybody was able to, you know, buy their own cameras and do their own thing, then the quality, you know, certainly there's believe me, plenty of bad movies made on 35mm film. But, you know, it became more and more of a rare experience to make a good movie, or a good experience making a movie.
That thing almost kind of cluttered the independent film circuit, too, when everyone started to be able to make their own film.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's just like the Internet, really, isn't it? It's double-edged sword. I mean, there's so many wonderful things about it, and so many people who could do what they want, and they don't have to have, you know, funding, and, you know, just the cost of developing film, and, you know, how they can edit now at home, you know, all these wonderful things for people who are very, very talented. But, you know, on the other side of it, too, is, you know, yeah, you got to wade through a lot of crap to get to the gems. So, you know, but nonetheless, I think it's a good thing. I just think my biggest problem I have with it is that some, you know, beginning filmmakers feel like, you know, they raise, you know, a few thousand, $10,000, $20,000, whatever they're doing, and they make these movies, and they think that it necessarily has to be released, you know, because, you know, they've never been to film school. It's sort of like their film school. And I feel that, you know, seeing a lot of that has been taken out of the equation, you know, less people studying or, you know, learning underneath someone who's, you know, like a maverick or just somebody who's good. And, you know, seeing all of those old school ways of learning how to film make are gone for the most part. I find it interesting that more people don't start making short films just for exercises, you know, to get good at their craft and figure out, you know, what is their voice. I mean, that's the problem, too, that I have, is that some people don't have a voice when they make a movie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like they're just doing it for fun rather than to say something or try to really do something.
Yeah, exactly.